So I was out. I couldn't race. But we still started going to a few events, and Tony Foster Evans, or Foster Tony Evans, started racing the truck. A lot of people have met him. He's usually at the events. He's quiet, doesn't have social media, isn't on Facebook, doesn't text.
I don't know what to do with my hands.
Going over this year, you know, we've raced a lot in the NHRDA. We usually go to a lot of ODSS races with a lot of driving. 3 days there, 3 days back, 6 days of driving. Tony loves it, like vacation for him.
Something like that, yeah.
But we decided to support the NHRDA this year, and we went to 4 out of 5 of their races, racing in Pro Street. This is also our first year like following a Pro Street series and racing it. We've done it in 590 before, but Pro Street was a big jump for us. Started off here in Phoenix.
Yep.
There's a lot of racers at that one.
Yeah, it was a real tough field.
We were the only ones there in Phoenix for Pro Street. But we still raced all day long. We still did all the qualifying runs, and we still did the elimination run.
The 07 wanted a little more encryption for the Hoosiers. They gave it to them.
We sent it down the track all day long just for fans or just for testing. So had some decent times on that, not great. We definitely struggled a lot this year with traction, spinning our tires. We tried all sorts of stuff, all sorts of advice, bar angles, ask advice from people, but yeah, we struggled a lot in the traction department. We went to California next.
Yeah, there were 3 of us, yeah. Because the third guy, we showed up, no one knew anything about him until we were getting paired up for the eliminations. We thought we were just going straight into the final, me and the Dynamite truck, Skyler Ostrich.
Foster goes right in. Here comes Skyler. Here we go. Oh, good race left side doing a sachet. Wind light says Foster Evans, 552, 130 miles an hour.
And they said, no, you got a 5, and he's racing that guy.
Right.
I said, where the hell did he come from? Because we hadn't seen him make a pass at all during the day, but there was a third guy there.
Yeah, I didn't go to that race.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I sent you with the laptop though. I remember specifically I set it up for you. I maybe can do a little screenshot of what it looked like, so in case you had any problem for the data logging or the tuning, it was all right there, right?
Yep, said, look here, dumbass.
Yeah, look here, dumbass.
Or click here, dumbass. One of the 2, yeah. So,
And we were doing a little
yeah, doing the computer to
team
computer
viewer,
that thing, yeah.
changing tunes. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, that one, the track prep wasn't the greatest there. It was very slidey, but it went good. I think we made 5 passes there.
We were hopping and skipping and looking at the data log. You were getting wheel speed all the way down the track. I don't know if you can tell from the videos, but it looked like you were ice skating down the track.
I was driving in, I know. There was a lot of steering involved. I think we raced about 3/4 of a mile on an 8-mile track. So, but everything went good and we won. So that's the biggest thing.
So it's pretty cool. As the first time racing head-to-head against someone in Pro Street.
Yep.
And actually win. It was a tight race. We were both fast, and we were both struggling with traction, but we still won.
Yeah. I gave him the lane choice too, because we were a lot faster than he was. And so whatever lane you want to go in, I'll go in the other one. I don't care. And real tight. Luckily, I treed the hell out of him, and I think I only had him by about a bedside the entire way down the track. So.
But that was just before UCC or just after? I can't remember.
That was right before you.
Right before UCC. And then we didn't change anything for UCC, right? We just took the same truck, same engine, same trans, and went to UCC?
Yep. Yeah, we went to UCC, ran 530s there.
Same problems though, traction.
Same
It just
problems.
spinning all the way down the track. We just couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, we did go our fastest pass to date there, which was like a 532 or a 531 at the time.
Not record breaking, but it's still fast for us.
Yep, fast for us. So fast for us is good enough. So.
No breakage, no issues. Drove back on the trailer after UCC.
Yep.
Heads kind of held down a little bit from not going fast, but man, the combo's working great. The engine, the trans, everything seems to just be working really good.
Oh, we did hurt the converter and had that electrical issue that caused us to not sled pull.
Right.
Converter got tight, and we tried making a pass in the ODSS and thought it was up on the limiter. It was like 300 RPM short, and,
That's right.
and we made it out about 10 feet and hit everything, and blew all 4 tires off, made a hard right turn, and just called it.
Yeah, we weren't sure if there was a limiter, tuning, converter, and we were not able to get it figured out before the sled pull.
Yeah. So yeah, that was an unfortunate part about the UCC trip.
Yeah, that's right. After UCC, we went through everything. We had the trans gone through, converters gone through, engine gone through, drove all the way up to Montana, and bam, truck wouldn't shift.
Yep. Yeah, had all of 60 feet worth of trans in it, and so yeah, drove 25, 30 hours, something like that, for a bunch of 60-foot passes.
When Tony says we drove for 30 hours and then got in, like, Tony means he drove for 30 hours, like, and then gets out and runs a 5-second 1/8 mile in the truck. Like, he's a machine and a little crazy.
I mean, he's a senior Ford Master technician, a pro race car driver, and a basic, transporter, all in one.
Yeah.
He's like the ultimate package.
So
Right here, ladies, all in one.
Yeah. If only my package was as impressive as the package I had.
Yeah, we were pretty sure we were out of the race because there was a couple of really fast. John Cesario, sorry, I always screw up his last name.
Yeah, he broke, unfortunately. Dennis Kriegel, he went fast as hell. He went 540s, and we went 880s all day long. And luckily, the first round of eliminations, his truck started to get away from him on staging, and he red lit.
Yeah.
And
Just total luck to win that race.
yeah. And then, yeah, the final race, we were up against Skyler in the Dynamite truck again, and he had breakage, and you being the super master tuner you are, short shifted it, and it went 590.
I don't know, it just wouldn't, second gear just wasn't holding. It doesn't make sense. Like, it would launch just fine, but when you looked at the data log, you get a couple of feet out, and it's like it was going to neutral. So it had second, but it would lose second.
Yeah.
Converter was working, everything, it was
We
locked.
even changed the converter.
Yeah, changed converter in the pits.
Yeah.
Didn't change anything. But if you got into third, it was fine.
Yeah, even coming up the return road, getting high up in the second, it was
neutral out, rev out.
and once it clicked into third, it just continued motoring on up the return road. So
that final,
weirdest thing.
for that final pass, it just made it shift into third just right off the launch. So it launched and then third, and ran third all the way down the track. I think it was a 590. I mean, it's not impressive, but better than the 880s we're doing all day long.
And it was enough to win. So
Just enough to win.
we got damn lucky in Montana though.
That was 3 wins in a row.
Yeah. And yeah, skip Canada, which was before Montana. Because that was right around UCC time too. That would have been a push.
Yeah, tough to go to both and go all the way to Canada.
Yeah.
You said something about you're afraid they wouldn't let you in or out or back or
Yeah, Canada don't want me, and they won't let me bring my guns up there, so we can't go there.
freaking Canadians.
Yeah.
Oh, we'd love to go to every, I mean, some people ask why we don't go to the more ODSS stuff, but first you had to get the truck ready and prepped, and then from Arizona to go to any race,
Yeah,
unless it's here, is at least 2 days of driving.
It's a minimum 30 hours to go to an ODSS event.
Yeah, 30 hours, that's 3 days of driving a 48-foot-long trailer all the way across country for 1 to 2 days of racing to drive back. I mean, that's 6 to 8 days on the road to go to a race.
Yeah. Yeah, and it takes us a day or so to get the trailer loaded up and, taking guys off building turbos to help load up the trailer. All in all, for a 30-hour drive, we're out at least 10 days.
Yeah, and we take turns, I mean, there's no like dedicated racing, like this is us, but we take turbo builders with us, so usually take turns, Jake will go sometimes, Tyler will go others, John will go others, but it's a lot of work. It's a lot, and kudos to all the guys that do this all the time. That, I mean, the ODSS stuff, I think is a little closer to them, 1 to 2 day drive, but for us doing a 3-day drive, it's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, and that is the benefit of being on the East Coast and doing the East Coast driving. All their states are small, so, it's nothing to drive one state over, I feel, at least on the East Coast. It's like, that's half an hour, 45 minutes. Here, it's like we drive through Texas, we spend 2 whole days in Texas.
Texas is 2 days long.
Yeah, you get into El Paso and then you look and go, oh, it's still 800 miles to Dallas. That's not fun. So
Well, going to Montana, you don't think it's that far, but there's a lot of mountains between here and Montana. You guys on the East Coast have no idea what mountains look like. You're a little tiny, like what are the Appalachian mountains over there? Nothing. When you get out here in the West Coast, the elevation changes and the mountain passes are just intense. I mean, we've driven East Coast to West Coast, and once you get to like Texas, it's like flat, nothing. You get west of Texas, New Mexico, Colorado, Utah, Montana, Wyoming, Arizona, it is very mountainous. A lot of work to pull a trailer through that.
yeah, and very tight. Like we were looking for routes around the mountains with the big ass trailer, because going through some of those, 25-mile-an-hour curves for cars, it's like, hopefully there's no one coming the other way. Otherwise, we're not going to have a fun time, or at least they're not. We'll probably be okay.
So after Montana, like we sat down and talked, and we knew we had a little bit of time before Worlds. There was a couple of events we wanted to go to, but at this point, no more power was going to help us. We were just struggling with tires.
60 foot.
60 foot. That's 60 foot. It wasn't even just 6 foot, 330 we were spinning.
Yeah.
I mean, we just spinning all the way down the track. So no amount of throwing more power, more nitrous, more fuel at it was going to help. And we sat down, kind of wrote out a game plan. I actually made a couple of Facebook posts asking around, like, what shocks are people running? What coilovers? What tires? We watched countless videos on 4-link suspension. I'd be up at 11 o'clock at night sending Tony YouTube videos.
Yeah, which I'd see in the morning because I'm asleep.
Yeah, but I staying up, studying, graphing it out. We had a lot of advice and a lot of help from people, but we basically tore the whole truck down and decided that that's what we were going to work on. We didn't need bigger injectors, more turbo, more fuel, more air. We had all that figured out. The truck's running fantastic, but just wouldn't hook.
Yeah, and at that point too, the motor and tranny had about 15 passes on them, so we found some metal in the tranny, and then our rings weren't holding the greatest to seal anymore, so.
Yeah, metal in the tranny after that was last race with the Montana where it wasn't shifting at all.
Yeah, and so we had the tranny gone through.
We think it was the trans cooler.
Yeah.
That's what they determined.
Yeah,
that
the cooler had a ball of metal in it. And
we ran the trans cooler through a little filter cleaner thingy, and gosh, a lot of stuff come out. We do that every time, and they always say, oh yeah, your cooler's good, nothing in it. But this time, a lot came out.
yeah, and did rings on the truck.
The total seal rings made a huge
total
difference.
Seal rings.
Jared at Kill Devil Diesel was like, we have a little bit of blow by, things are set up a little looser maybe, and we were always having pressure coming out of our CCV or our catch can. And Jared told us to try the total seal rings. Huge difference.
Yeah, and luckily they're local too, because this guy right here measured the bore wrong, so we got 30 over rings instead of 40 over rings, and they obviously weren't right, but with them being local, we were able to get the right rings real quick, and Jared went through the heads, took care of them, made sure there was no problem there, got everything back together, got the shocks changed.
Yeah, I went with Menser for the coilovers, highly recommended. We called around to a lot of coilover guys, shock guys, and some of them knew a little bit. Most of them were like, well, we're car guys, two-wheel drive car guys. But when we called Menser, I mean, they were like, no, we're four-wheel drive diesel trucks. We know all the shock settings that are going to help you guys. They wanted our weight and our specs and how much power we made, and they spec'd us out the exact right coilovers for our truck. They were quick on shipping, super helpful. They even said we could send them videos. They'd walk us through everything. They'd tell us how to adjust everything. That's been a huge benefit to us, so switching over to Menser shocks and coilovers.
Yeah, that helped a lot with relatively no changes otherwise to the truck. It went straighter than it's ever gone.
Yeah, we stiffened the frame. We
We
had
had Joey put on those brackets.
made a bar change.
Yeah. Well, we went basically back to where we were at with bars.
Now we've adjusted them a little here and there and just wasn't seeing any improvement.
Yeah. And now the truck goes straight. It's almost boring how straight it goes.
It's impressive. We went to that Friday night private track event, and the track prep was pretty good. It wasn't like radial prep, but it was pretty good. And man, we were just ripping off 1-2 60-foots like it was nothing.
Yeah.
We did a couple of 60-foot passes and then a couple of 330s, and then held it out and actually went faster than, I think we went 521s that night.
521,
like it was nothing.
Yep.
You said it was boring going down the track. It was impressive how big of a difference those small changes made.
Yeah, I probably could have gone down the track eating dinner or something. It would have been fine.
One of the guys that helped the most, I mean not the most, but he was one of the few people that I talked to that really understood what these chassis are doing, walked me through a lot of information, was Logan Yelton. He actually has a service where he'll come out, go to the track with you, dial in your suspension, adjust your shocks for you, do 4-link. Granted, he's the other side of the world, so he wasn't able to do that for us, but even just talking with him and watching some of his videos really helped out. 60 foot was down, so getting ready to go to the NHRDA Worlds to compete. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe if you like seeing this kind of stuff. Comment down below. Make sure to subscribe, share the video with your friends. You know, this is kind of a new thing for us. We're usually just instructional videos, but if you enjoy these types of videos, make sure that you share these with your friends. Tell them all to subscribe, like, it goes a long way on our end.